What is going on, everyone? That's right, in case you haven't heard yet, the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is coming soon. So let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what's going to be included in this Legacy Collection. Let's go. Alright folks, we are going to take a look at what exactly is the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. And I gotta tell you, remember we said at the beginning of the year, this was going to be the year of Mortal Kombat on this channel. And boy, we picked the right year. So, man, that's great. It's absolutely great. And this is great. The Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Let's go over here so we can take an up-close look. All right, we are going to be using the PlayStation blog that announced this. Obviously, many other places announced this, but we are using the PlayStation blog for our reference here. At Digital Eclipse, we specialize in restoring historic games for modern consoles, giving legendary classics the respect they deserve. As you might imagine, we get a lot of requests from fans, and for many years now, the overwhelming #1 request has been Mortal Kombat. Of course it has. That's why we are so excited to reveal in today's State of Play that we're partnering with our friends, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, to bring Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 later in 2025. Now, if this is just on PS5 and PS4, that's a bummer for Xbox owners, but I think we're going to find an Xbox announcement later down the line. I think they'll figure something out there because their previous collections have come out on Xbox as well. So maybe it'll be announced a little later or even at a later date, or maybe they're trying to finalize that right now. With multiple 90s and 2000s games from the early days of this groundbreaking fighting game series, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection will also provide a comprehensive, detailed look at the franchise's history ever assembled. Which is exciting because they're going to dive into the history, kind of a documentary style, really go deep into the archives, like we've seen in other collections of theirs. And really, this may be the deepest dive into the history of this game series that we've ever gotten, especially the original arcade games and home versions. I'm very excited to see what they come up with there. We'll take you back to the glorious 1990s, the days of arcades and tokens. Oh, the good old days. The good old days of hidden fatalities and secret characters with the original versions of Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. But we're not stopping there. Many of the home versions of these games from vintage 16-bit consoles and, yes, even handheld systems are also included. Handheld. Game Boy, Game Gear. That's interesting because some of those are really god-awful, but they will be fun to kind of go back and relive that and all that stuff, even though you've been able to do this stuff. Listen, you've been able to do this stuff for years with emulators. I understand that. And all the geeks out there are going to come into the comments and say, we've been doing this with emulators for years. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But guess what? I like having a collection that's official. And especially if we get a physical copy, which I really hope we do, I can put that physical copy on my shelf with the rest of my Mortal Kombat collection. All right, geeks. I like having an official release. Is that so damn bad? Holy shit. The emulators, man. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. No freaking shit. Go ahead, type it down there. Get it out of your system. Type it down there. Get it out of your system, you little nerds. But we're not stopping there, as I said. Handheld are included. And the arcade and console games can all be played online with rollback netcode. Okay, so see, this is the game changer right here. We're going to be able to go back and play Bonky Donk MK2 on Sega Genesis online with each other. How about that? Bonky Donk goes online. What do you think about that? That is going to be awesome. Want to enter in the blood code and challenge a friend to throw down in the Genesis version of Mortal Kombat Online? You'll be able to. And we'll even enter in the blood code for you in case you don't remember. Although, Abacab, not that hard to remember. Here's a list of the playable games we've announced so far, with more on the way. Mortal Kombat 1992, arcade, SNES, Genesis, Game Boy, Game Gear. Mortal Kombat 2, arcade, SNES, Genesis, Game Boy, 32X. I think this will be the first time ever that 32X version has appeared somewhere as a digital game that isn't on an emulator that you get for free on your PC. Okay. Mortal Kombat 3, 1995, arcade, SNES, and Genesis. UMK3, arcade, and SNES. So not the Genesis version yet of that. That's interesting. Because I actually think this is my personal opinion, but I actually think the UMK3 on Genesis is better than the SNES because it has a little bit more going on. It has more of the backgrounds and things like that. But to each their own, whatever. Mortal Kombat 4. This is the one everybody, a lot of people, not everybody, because it's so divisive. Some people are like, I don't want this shit. A lot of people want Mortal Kombat 4 because they have not gotten it in any form or any fashion ever since the home versions of like PlayStation, the MK Gold update, and all that stuff, and Dreamcast. It just hasn't happened, guys. And this is the first time you're going to get this in this form, in this collection. Mortal Kombat 4, the arcade version. So everybody will be able to play that online with each other, which will be exciting. Mortal Kombat Advance, the Game Boy Advanced Mortal Kombat. That's interesting. I didn't spend much time with that one. That'll be kind of neat to go back and check out. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance for the Game Boy Advance. Some people will be like, really? For the Game Boy Advance? Why don't we get the regular Deadly Alliance? It might be a task because that game was pretty big with the crypt and all that stuff. But you never know. They got more stuff to announce. We'll see. I personally don't care because I'm not a fan of those 3D Mortal Kombats, the Deadly Alliance, and Deception and Armageddon. Deception was not bad, but I'm just not that big of a fan of it. I'm more of a fan of the crypt and just going and unlocking stuff. I couldn't give a single shit about the game itself other than literally the crypt. That's what I enjoyed about those games, just going through and unlocking stuff in the crypt. That's where I found my enjoyment in those. The actual gameplay itself could care less. But finding Cooking with Scorpion was that was my shit right there. Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition, 2003, Game Boy Advance. That should be, interesting to go back and see those. But that is not all, folks. There's more to come. And some people are really hoping we get Trilogy. I don't see why we couldn't. I think that's doable. I think we could get a Trilogy, but what version do we get? Who knows? It might be the PC version. It might be the N60. I would throw the N64 version in there just because it's so different than the PC or PSX version, right? What's next? Well, Mortal Kombat is all about secrets, so we hope you don't mind if we keep a few of our own for now. They have more secrets, and they will announce more as time goes on here. And if you played our other products like Tetris Forever, Atari 50th, you know that Digital Eclipse doesn't just stop at the games. We produce full interactive documentaries that give you all the behind-the-scenes information about how these legendary games were created. This I'm really looking forward to. Check that out. There's old Montaro. Earlier this year, Digital Eclipse traveled to Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment to interview Mortal Kombat co-creators Ed Boon and John Tobias, alongside literally dozens of other developers, actors, industry luminaries, fans, and Mortal Kombat experts. Man, this is going to be the absolute shit, man. I'm telling you, man. See, I can do it on emulators, man. Yeah, but you ain't going to get this fucking shit on your goddamn emulators, you nerds, okay? This you're not getting on your emulators, nerds. And this is what I'm excited about the most is all this behind-the-scenes shit. Yes, we've had behind-the-scenes shit over the years, but they've went there and they're getting new information, new stuff, new interviews. That shit makes me excited. And we're excited to say that following our partnership with Tetris Forever, we are once again working with the incredible filmmakers at Area 5 to make these documentary videos shine. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. We're also doing a deep dive into the history of Mortal Kombat to find design documents, early prototype materials, motion capture sessions, concept art, and much more. Some never before seen. Never before seen. That's what I want to see. You'll be able to step through our interactive timelines as if you were walking through a Mortal Kombat museum, watching videos, playing games, viewing photo galleries, and more as you travel through the early history of the franchise. Man, this is going to be this is it. This is the definitive collection right here, guys. Remember fighting the elusive green ninja reptile? Entering a combat code to transport yourself to Noobsdorfen? Pulling off an animality to transform into a dragon and eat your opponent's torso? Mortal Kombat games are full of secret content, some gruesome, some downright silly. In the 1990s, finding these secrets meant buying physical strategy guides, tying up the phone line while connecting to America Online, or relying on unreliable rumors heard at recess. Oh boy. There was a ton of those, like nudalities and the trees eating people and all that stuff. Oh my God. There were so many rumors. And I remember some of them actually, I'd come home and even in magazines, they'd boast these rumors. And so at least in GamePro, I think it was Lame Pro, where they admitted it was an April Fool's joke. But there were a couple that were like, oh, this might be a thing. And then you try it and nothing happens. Drove me absolutely nuts. We will give you open access to everything in these games without need for hidden codes or memorization, although you could still do them. But they'll make it so you can just do it immediately. How will we do that? Still a secret. Still a secret, but it won't be for long. We'll have much more to say about Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection later this year. Prepare yourself. Wow. Wow. This is going to be absolutely awesome. This is the collection that we have been wanting. No, it's not the HD remakes of the original games that we've been wanting. That may still happen. But you know what? With this is the biggest collection yet, as far as a collection that was ever put together with these games. You know, way bigger than Midway Arcade Treasures, which did have some cool little behind-the-scenes stuff included in it, but they were real quick snippets. I think we're going to have a real nice deep dive in this collection. And then, of course, the Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection on PS3 and Xbox 360. We've had those. But this right here, you're getting all the arcade games and the home console ports, most at least, according to this, what we have right now. More announcements coming, so we'll see what happens. But I think if we could get Mortal Kombat Trilogy and Mortal Kombat Gold mixed in this, I think that's really going to top things off and make people really happy. Of course, if you're a fan of the 3D games, Deadly Alliance and all that stuff, and you're only going to get the Game Boy versions, you're going to be kind of disappointed, but oh well. Tough, because, you know, I'm not that huge of a fan of those, and I don't think a lot of people were. They like them. I like them, but to really go out of my way and be like, oh, I got to have these on a collection, I just don't. I don't need that. So, whatever, you know? It doesn't matter to me. Although it would be interesting to kind of get the behind-the-scenes look into those, even though we've had that, especially with the Crypt and stuff, but I would like to see more of what the mindset was with those games back then, and maybe even what they thought about leaving that mindset when they moved on and went with MK versus DC, which kind of transitioned things back to that classic MK style, because MK versus DC played more like old school Mortal Kombat and left that other stuff behind. And then, of course, we got Mortal Kombat 9 after that, and the rest is history. So, yeah, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Holy shit! It's Mortal Kombat, bitches! Super exciting news, guys. Hey, we said this was going to be the year of Mortal Kombat on this channel, and boy, did we pick the perfect year to do it. Hey, if you're getting sick of Mortal Kombat on this channel, well, guess what? You're about to get even sicker. That's right. With that said, I will catch you all down the road.